Hey there, beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Lincy P, and thank you all so much for stopping by. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, hey girl, hey, nice to see you again. And let's just get right into today's video. So I purchased a Kevin Loung workshop like a couple years ago. I want to say 2019, or maybe it was last year in 2020. And I purchased his bronze Bombshell makeup tutorial like workshop. I am in love with the man's work. I will like insert like a little camera roll of his Instagram. If you haven't or checked him out, or if you're not following him, highly recommend. But his signature look is like bronzy, really glowy skin, stunning eyes, big lashes, right up my alley. So I decided to go back, revisit the class that I took last year or 2 years ago, and do it with you guys here on camera. So yeah, this is the look that I was able to come up with, and honestly, I just feel really pretty, like blown away. I love the way my makeup turned out. And so if you all are interested in seeing how I implement some of his tips and techniques to come up with this look, then go ahead and keep watching. All right guys, so the first thing that I noticed that Kevin does is he moisturizes the face, and he uses kind of like a flat foundation brush to do that. I already moisturized, so I'm not going to do all of that again. Now the next thing that I noticed that he does is he takes a liquid illuminator. Today I'm gonna go in with this Becca Shimmering Skin Perfect liquid I guess, and he just kind of paints it on all over the face. Let me grab a mirror so I can see what I'm doing. It just takes this and starts in the center of the face, just kind of like blends out. I feel like the Tin Man off of The Wiz, but I love Kevin, love his work, so we're just gonna trust the process. The next thing that he does, and I am gonna go ahead and do this, is he takes the eye cream and just kind of paints that on underneath the eye. For today, I'm gonna be using the Biossance Squalene and Marine Algae Eye Cream. And using the same brush, I'm just going to coat underneath my under eyes. I'll say applying it with this brush definitely feels really nice. Like I might do this daily so I don't have to use my fingers, because I don't know, just feels different. Now it's time to go in with primer, and he went in with the Milk Hydro Grip, and I don't have that primer on hand, but I do have the dupe, the e.l.f. Jelly Pop primer. And he did not go in with his hands, so I'm not going to do that. He actually went in with his beauty blender and used that to apply his primer. So it's a bit extra, especially when you're used to applying primers with your hands. But I will say using these tools feel really nice and just like soothing on the skin. So I assume there's a reason to his creative process, I guess. Skin is looking pretty healthy. Honestly, this might be some hacks for some no makeup days, because my skin looks pretty good. Because I'm oily, and he did do this on the model as well, I'm gonna go in with the Becca Ever Matte Primer, and with that beauty blender, just apply it in the areas that I get oily. So my skin is prepped. I think his prepping process is really nice. My skin feels just fresh and like ready to put the canvas on. So, okay. So he went in with, I forgot the foundation, but it definitely was a full coverage foundation. So I'm gonna take my Huda Beauty, this is the new Luminous the new one, the new full filter, luminous full filter one. Haven't used this on camera with you guys yet, so I figured this would be a good video to do that with. And because his foundation looked pretty full coverage, so I'm gonna take a pump of that. And he goes in with the brush again and kind of just like paints it on the face to get an even layer of product kind of everywhere. Oh my gosh, is this even my color anymore? Oh Lord. Y'all, I bought this foundation in like March, so I'm not sure. And he did take his sponge and just blend everything out. Does this foundation oxidize? Oh, maybe it will oxidize. I'm glad I'm doing this video today because I was planning on doing it tomorrow, which would have been terrible because tomorrow is my fiance's birthday and we're going to dinner, and this could not have shown it in the pictures, but we're gonna keep going with it for now. After the foundation, he went in with concealer. He did use the Tarte Shape Tape, and I have that, so I am gonna use that. He used two shades, a lighter shade and then, a highlighting shade and then like a super highlighting shade. I only have one shade in this, so to brighten, I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty. But he didn't apply it with the doe foot applicator that it came with. He used a brush. Just to give myself a bit more brightness, I'm taking my Fenty Beauty concealer in the shade 360, and we're gonna focus that right in the inner hollows of my eye. Okay, so the next thing he did was the brows. His model had pretty thick eyebrows. I don't, so he just proceeded to comb her brow hairs up while he let the concealer dry down some. And taking the same brush that we used for the concealer, we're just going to clean up or sculpt the brow. Alright, so now that that's done, he went ahead and used small tapping motions to blend out the concealer. He doesn't seem to be like spreading it much, just really focusing it in the area that he originally applied it. So I'm gonna try not to go too crazy with the blending. To blend out the eye, he specifically says that he likes to blend his eyes upwards. I'm not sure what that means, so let me quickly reference the video. Okay, so it looks like he starts kind of at the bottom and literally blends upward, like, I guess inward is a better understanding for me. So like most of us blend our concealer this way. He blends his concealer from like center to like upward on the nose and then inward from the outer corner, if that makes sense. So instead of taking it and going this way, he goes here, up, across, and back. Looks pretty smooth. Okay, Kevin, Okay. Let me find out this is how you got to be a celebrity makeup artist. Okay, now let's move on to cream contouring. He used the Fenty cream bronzers, but those ain't worked out for your girl. So I'm gonna go in with my Danessa Myricks Power Bronze Cream Bronzer. And I'm just gonna go on with a fluffy brush. I'm gonna tap into that. And it looks like he starts on the outer portion of the cheek. And he does like these circular motions, saying to keep this at 3/4 of the way. So you don't want to take it all the way in. He keeps it focused right up in here. Also applying some of that bronzer right on the temples of my forehead, right above my brow bone. Kevin really loves a smaller forehead, so he takes the bronzer pretty much like all the way down, leaving little to nothing, just this little peak of highlight right there. And I already have a pretty small forehead, so we'll see how this goes. But he really seems to like go in with the bronzer, so I am going like heavily. So I'm going to continue to kind of build up what we did initially, just until I get a similar result to what I'm seeing on the screen. So, all right, now it's time to go ahead and set our face. Let me just quickly blend and make sure there are no harsh lines. I'm gonna go in with the Huda Beauty baking powder in the shade Kunafa. I'm just gonna tap in and first use a brush to kind of set those under eyes. Taking my sponge, I'm just going to lightly press into that powder and bake the rest of my face. I forgot to contour my nose, guys. Oh. He did contour the nose. All right. We're going to try this and we're gonna try not to mess up, we're gonna try not to mess up our face here because we don't have time for that. So he did contour the nose and he used a brush like this. So I am going to quickly do the same. Or attempt to while we're baking. And all he did was take his brush and kind of just stamp, ooh, okay, alongside the nose. Lord have mercy. All right, this is a bad idea. So we're gonna blend. All right, so first things first, forget this powder for now. Oh, Lord. I hope I didn't just mess it all up. And we're just gonna blend inwards. Okay, with blending, it is coming together. Okay, I think our nose contour crisis is averted. I'm not sure, but we're gonna proceed. So yeah, back to reverse contouring the nose. All right, now that we are contoured, we are gonna go ahead onto the next step. So he has a Scott Barnes palette that is kind of like just a contour palette. I don't have that. So I have this Makeup Shack palette. Didn't go super red with the bronzer, so I'm going to probably keep these two shades right here and see how that works. Sculpt and Buff. Or actually, I think I'm gonna use Sunkissed and Buff instead. Pretty much exactly what we did with the cream. He just reinforced it with the powder. Feel like I'm looking more contoured than bronze, so I'm gonna take the shade Penny out of this palette and just throw that in the mix and see if that helps at all. Don't want to bake too long because it doesn't look like he let the product sit too long, so I'm going to take my brush, and he used the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder to kind of just buff everything away. And the key here is you want to be light-handed with these powders because you don't want to, you know, cake the powders on. So remember that you have your baking powder already there, so just a light layer of your Charlotte Tilbury powder should work just fine. Okay, so next we went into blush. He used this Patrick Ta blush. I'm gonna be using mine in the shade Ooh, She's Different. And with the powder, I'm just going to do what he does. And he mainly focuses the blush like right here. And he says he likes a lot of blush, so more is more, to quote him. So we're gonna go pretty heavy-handed with the blush. We're gonna go in with this Maroon Peach by Marina Beauté, just because, you know, bronze Bombshell for me, I don't think is pink. I think it would be more of a orangey tone. So I want to give off that vibe. And then going back in with my palette, I'm going to take the shades Buffed and Penny and just kind of redefine some of that bronzer again, because I feel like we lost a little bit of it. We're gonna try this again, but he took this brush and went along the side of his nose, of her nose rather, the model's nose, with the same type of brush, just kind of pressing that in. And then to blend it out, he took the sponge and did the same thing, just blended inward. I think I need a little bit more powder. The AC is off, I'm getting oily, so I am going to bake again. He didn't do this, but I just feel like I need to do this. All right, y'all, while I'm baking, because this is pretty much where he stopped and I kind of got jumbled, I'm gonna hop offline, watch the rest of the video so I don't have to stop and go, and then come back and we'll finish the look together. Okay, so I watched the rest of the video for the most part, and I am actually going to follow what he does, but kind of do my own thing. So just wiping away this nose. He goes in with a highlighter and he uses his finger to apply the highlighter in an exclamation point type of figure. So I'm actually gonna go on with the oldie but a goodie. I'm gonna take my ABH Glow Kit, and I am going to take the shade Bronzed, and I am going to do that. So he starts by just applying it on the tip of the nose. and then down the bridge. Kind of like that. Okay. For eyes, he starts off using the same bronzers that he used kind of just in the crease and the transition. So I'm gonna mix all 3 of these shades, the buff, not sure if you guys can see, all 3 of these shades to mimic the bronzer shade that I have on my face. And you mainly just place that kind of on the outer corners and then works the way in. So that's what I'm doing. Now going into the Dose of Colors Friendcation palette, I'm going to go in with Churro. That's the next shade that he used. And he used this to kind of further deepen that, but he pretty much kept it, I don't know how to explain it. I'm just gonna show you guys. So starting towards the outer V area, he kind of just focused it and buffed it like upwards and towards the lash line. So like, you can kind of see the shape it's creating on this eye. He mainly just did that. And taking my Jackie Aina palette, I'm gonna take the shade Ginger and kind of use this as a shade to blend everything together, so everything looks kind of seamless. Going back into the Friendcation palette, I'm gonna take this darker shade. This is in the shade Teens. And we're going to pretty much mimic what we did with Churro, but just a little, to deepen it just a little. And this, you really want to focus on the outer area of the eye, still creating that kind of winged cat eye effect. Now that we have our eyeshadows, he took some more of the Huda Beauty powder, just kind of created a sharp edge, clean up that eyeshadow. For the lids, I'm gonna take Just a Kiss out of the Friendcation palette and just place that all over the lid. All right, I feel like this shadow is like works better when it's wet. So I'm gonna spray my brush. There we go. Lashes I went ahead and applied off camera just because this video is already going to be 17 years long. But I tried to get some fluffy style lashes similar to what Kevin used in the video. And now we're just going to go ahead and wipe away all of our powders finally. And I am going to actually try to press these bad boys in because I am sweating. It is so hot. It just doesn't even like make sense how hot it is. All right. Now that the eyes and base and everything is done, he goes into brows, which I think is so weird. Like, it just feels so weird to have this entire face on and no brows. So we're gonna do that. So he does the infamous soap brows. So I'm gonna go in with my brow styling soap. I got this off of Amazon and it works pretty well. And just to activate it, I'm lazy, so I'm gonna take my Charlotte Tilbury spray and just activate that soap. Take my spoolie and just get it nice and coated. And he just pretty much brushes the brows upwards. Now, if you have full brows, you really don't have to do much. You can just do this step and be good to go, but my brows, I'm not that lucky to have full brows, so they take a little finagling. Once you've done your soap brows, I'm gonna take my ABH Dip Brow Pomade, and we're just going to fill those in with hair-like strokes to keep the brows nice and feathery. All right, my loves, I am so sorry if you hear my AC. I am literally dying, and like I needed to turn it on. There was no alternative here. I wouldn't have made it. I needed to turn it on. I wouldn't have made it to the video. I can't. So just blotting away some of those excess oil. And let's go ahead and finish the look. So next, of course, is lips. Is my NARS liner in the shade Spunked, and I want to make sure that it's nice and sharp. And mine was a little dull, so I'm just giving it a nice, good sharpen. Okay, and then for lips today, I'm gonna go in with my liquid lipstick by ABH in the shade Ashton. Just using a lip brush, I'm going to kind of coat the lips with that. And he definitely blended it into the liner, so I'm gonna try to do the same. All right, that is the lip liner. Then I'm going to go ahead and take this Dose of Colors gloss and focus that in the center. This is, what shade is this? No idea what shade this is, but I will see if I can find it in my Ulta purchases. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my powder, my Charlotte Tilbury powder, for some finishing touches and just kind of go over everything. We are back, and this is the final look. And honestly, this is why Kevin is one of my favorite makeup artists, if not my most favorite makeup artist, because just look at how the face is sitting. My biggest takeaway after revisiting and following along this video is just how far tools, like the tools that you use and the actual way in which you apply these products, like, makes such a difference. Like, from the way that he applied the foundation, I feel like the Huda Beauty foundation has never been this comfortable on my skin, just going straight in. So it seems a little silly at first, but those extra little steps and just like applying your foundation first with a foundation brush and then blending it out or even the way that you apply the primer, I think I will be incorporating that in, you know, future videos. Those are my biggest takeaways. And the lips, I mean, taking the time to really just do everything with the lip brush. I think my lips look really, really good. All in all, I think this was a great experience. I will have the link to his class link down below if you're interested in checking it out for yourself. Highly recommend. And if you guys like these type of videos, then let me know whose makeup routine or class or whatever I should check out next. Workshops, there you go. Let me know whose workshop or class I should check out next. But yeah, really impressed. Oh, one more thing before we go is the eyes. Okay, so guys, the eyeshadow process is really messy, but it looks effortless on the eyes, and I'm really digging that. So those are my biggest takeaways from trying Kevin Loung's makeup, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the family. Love to have you, babe. And I will see you beautiful people in my next one. Smooches.